All right. What up, people? It's your boy Chig, and you're through to Chig Flicks, the place where you can find your favorite movie reviews, uh, TV show reactions, music video reactions. I'll react to whatever you want on here. And in my final review of today, the third in the Marvel video series, I'm going to review Iron Man 2. This is a movie I like better than most, but I can certainly understand the faults in this movie. It's a movie, first of all, that stars obviously RDJ, Cheadle as Rhodey, replacing Terrence Howard, Gwyneth Paltrow, of course, Sam Rockwell, excuse me, and his wife, his real life wife, is in this movie as well, whose real life wife was also in the first movie. Um, who else is there? I'm trying to think now. Scarlett Johansson. We see the first iteration of Black Widow in this movie, and in my opinion, well, I'll come back to Black Widow in a second. So obviously it's a real all-star cast, and obviously Mickey Rourke, who's the big bad in this movie. Um, all right, this review is going to sound like I really dislike this film. I don't, but there are a lot of holes in this movie, and you can understand why people don't like it. Like, I won't crap on anyone that says they hate this film because I can completely understand. For the things that I like, I think RDJ does fine. I think the performance in Iron Man 1, he looks like he's having a better time generally, and I don't just mean storyline wise. I mean, generally looks like he's enjoying himself in the role a lot more in the first movie. In the second movie, not so much. But the first movie looks like he's having a lot of fun and enjoying the role. Um, Trying to think. Sam Rockwell. Why am I struggling to say his name? Sam Rockwell is easily the best part of this movie. He steals the movie. He's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. He is the only one in this entire movie, actually. I'll even go as far as to say this. He's the only one in this entire movie that actually looks like they're enjoying themselves. Like they're enjoying, genuinely just having the role and enjoying himself. And you can tell by his performance because it's energetic, you know. He has this wonderful little speech on a stage that he does where you crack up because you compare it to an earlier speech. You'll see it. I don't want to spoil too much if you haven't seen it. But it's to me he I love Sam Rockwell anyway. He's such a strong actor. He elevates most roles that he takes. And he's just another one who I just think actually in hindsight you would have liked to have seen him taken a more of a deeper role in the MCU because his talent was wasted in this role in a lot of ways. But he stole the show, stole the film with his performance. He really did. I really enjoyed Sam Rockwell in this movie. Um, I liked Mickey Rourke. I know Mickey Rourke gets a lot of criticism. I'll come back to that. But I liked Mickey Rourke. I thought the accent was on spot on. Did what he had to do. I thought John Titor was fine. Like I said from the first movie, I'm a Terrence Howard guy in the role. I still think Terrence Howard, for me, was the better roadie. But I thought John Cheadle was fine. Um, yeah, I think those are all the good things. Let's start with the bad things because there are a lot. So let's start with the bad things. I think the main thing that this movie suffers from is that the studio forced them to do this film sooner than John Favreau wanted to do this film. John Favreau wanted a 3 year gap between the first movie and this movie. But then obviously, because they're working to a tight schedule, because they were starting to put the pieces, we didn't really know too much about that at the time. Well, I certainly didn't, but they were just starting to put the pieces together of the MCU. And obviously now we understand when the schedule is a little bit tighter. But at the time, it was just like John Favreau didn't have the time he wanted in this movie. And you can kind of tell. It feels like they read a comic quickly, put a couple of ideas together. This is the result of that. Um, I liked the movie, but I didn't love it. Um, and I think a lot of that is just due to the fact of the subject matter. First of all, it's a very convoluted movie. There's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of arcs that are happening. And so just the mere idea of trying to sort through all of that is a lot. Like you've got the arc with the general arc, which is, something is happening with Tony Stark and he needs to find a solution. And it's really important he finds a solution to that. Then you have the arc. Sorry, just noticed we did a little thing there. Then you've got to find the arc between him and Mickey Rourke's character. Then there's the arc between him and Sam Rockwell's character. Then there's whatever the heck is going on between Gwyneth Paltrow, Black Widow, and him. Then there's a little thing going on between him and Rhodey. Then there's something else going on between him and the government. Like flipping, hey, okay, let's just strip this back. And you could tell it just feels like they had little time. Let's just throw everything in there, and Jon Favreau will make it work. And for me, anyway, like I said, I liked it more than most people. I thought it largely worked, but I can see why people hate it. I do think it had problems. I do feel like, first and foremost, let's just get this out of the way, because if any women watch it, they're going to complain about this comment. So we're going to make it nice and brief. Scarlett Johansson is smoking hot in this movie. She is smoking hot in this movie. In my opinion, she has never been hotter than in this movie. And people will say, well, what about the Avengers Black Widow? No, she is absolutely her hottest in this movie, especially when she's kicking ass, quite frankly. She's brilliant. She does the role. Obviously, she's a strong actress, but let's be honest here. She's one of the sexiest women in the world. And she ain't more sexier than in this movie. But she does her thing. It was a good, strong introduction for her. Samuel L. Jackson has a bit of a stronger role in this movie. We start to flesh out the Nick Fury character a little bit more in this movie. And we really start to see the people that care about Tony Stark in this movie start to play out a little bit. We start to see the relationship between him and Rhodey, which for me, like I say, I thought the connection between him and Terrence Howard was better. But I think Don Cheadle's done a good job when you really consider the fact that he's taken over from somebody else. And he did a good job. Please don't misunderstand me. Let's come to the big bad. I like Mickey Rourke. Accent-wise, I thought he was spot on. Character-wise, he was shit. He was shit. They completely underutilized Mickey Rourke. Apparently, he hated his experience on the Marvel set. Like he hated his experience because he kept fighting with the studios to give him more of a character to play with because they didn't really give him much. And as the film played out, they barely gave him anything. I mean, I try not to do spoilers whenever I do this movie, but it's like, they have a battle at the end, and it's a 45-second battle at most. At most. Like you build into a massive crescendo, and that was all you gave us. To me, I was really disappointed with this. That for me was where the film let me down personally, because I think Mickey Rourke is such a unique actor. This is another one who's a method actor. I love movies that stick method actors in fantasy shit. I love it. I just like to see how they cope with it. And I think you could have just done so much more with his character, because this is a character that is directly from the comics. Listen, I'm not an avid reader of those comics, but this particular story was in the comics, and it just, for me, it was a complete. It was one of the most forgettable villains you will ever see in any of these MCU's movies. And the irony is, when you go through, because let's face it, superhero movies don't tend to have very strong villains, right? When you go through all of these villains that aren't very strong in all 23 movies, Mickey Rourke is probably the best actor out of all of them. it's just, it's just they gave him nothing. They gave him nothing to work with. It is so frustrating. That for me was my biggest source of disappointment. They completely underutilized him, and I think that's probably why I liked. I'm going to pause that because I'm almost going to give something away, but I think that's why I started to look at other characters and appreciate them a lot more. So yeah, I think for me, that was the biggest disappointment to me. Like I said, it was very convoluted. So it is one of them ones where you have to stay sharp and watch it. It feels a bit longer than the first movie as well. So again, you have to try and make sure that you're alert and you're not getting too distracted by other things and that. They try and weave a lot of things, even towards the end of the movie. It directly connects to another movie, which I'm going to review on this channel. So yeah, there's not a lot of room to almost breathe. You're really hit with a lot of stuff all at once. And I just feel like if they just gave them 12 months longer to really focus in and zero in on what they wanted to focus on, I think this would have been a better movie for it. So to me, I didn't hate it. I liked it better than most. I should have loved it because the cast was so good, and I didn't. For me, I'm going to give this movie. I'm going to give it a B minus. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. If you're watching me for the first time, please do subscribe. This is a very skeletal way that I'm going to present the show. It's very much not finished. I've got this. I want it to be very different to how I'm going to focus my other two YouTube channels. So please don't take this and think, "Oh, what is this? It?" Believe me, just wait and see, just watch what I do. All right, next couple of months, watch what I do. I'm just working on some stuff at the moment, but just watch what I do. I promise you. All right, I did promise you 5 reviews. I've given you 5 reviews in one day. Dedication to this channel, dedication to this cause. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it. Please do stick a like on this video if you do. I'm going to give myself a quick break before I have to go to my other channel. Work, baby. All right, I'm out of here now. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Stay safe. Peace.